second round here, and I do believe we have a keep. We're on the draw here. We've got a 2-drop and a Scourgemark. Some reasonable 5s here, plus 3 lands to get us there. I think this is a fine keep. I mean, there's some cards I'd like to see off the top of the deck, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I think this hand can get some work done. We get to go Traveling Philosopher probably into Scourgemark, which helps us move things along. I'm just going to run the Philosopher. If he wants to nullify this, I'm pretty okay with that. Like, we've got much better threats waiting later on in the game for us here. What do you have? Triton Fortune Hunter, you say. Let's just get this card draw out of the way. If he wants to trade here, another thing I'm pretty okay with, I suppose. And if he doesn't, then, well, beatdowns. All right, so it looks like he's got plans for that Fortune Hunter, which is, that thing's a pain. We're going to have a hard time dealing with that. Okay, what's your no 4? I think we're just forced to run out the Spear here. I mean, I don't want to run it into 4 untapped mana, but like, we have no other play for the turn. If his plan is to Divine Verdict our Traveling Philosopher, I guess I'm fine with that. Yeah, that is his plan. Maybe I play around it. I don't know. I feel like that's the least of his troubles here. And we're going to play this Sentry, and it's going to be a 4/4 flyer, and it's going to get in there. I mean, even this thing's a pain for him. Chimera. All right, well. Okay, and then right back at you. Yeah, I'm just going to keep running out my board here. I want to get as many creatures as I can down to, well, to block for starters. Blocking's good. Observant Alseid, making that a 4/4 and then draw a card. I think he knows I can't really block here. Yeah, I just can't block here. So, yeah, I like that play. He gets to get in there for 4. And then we're probably just going to Gray Merchant here. Oh, he didn't even attack. He didn't even want to give us a chance. That's fantastic. Pillar of War. That's interesting. No, it's Gray Merchant here. So the play here, though, I believe is just to attack and make him block. It's a free roll. I mean, we could, of course, kill it with Dauntless Onslaught, but I kind of want to get his confidence up. Oh, he's taking it. Oh, lovely. Let's just play Merchant. And then next turn, we're in a pretty sweet spot. We can play Pillar of War and leave up both Dauntless Onslaught, Regeneration, or a Spear activation. All right, now he's kind of going off. But it's still only a 4/4, so we can just block here. He seems pretty concerned about his situation in life, and it's hard to blame him. Not a great spot for him here. If he attacks, it's in there. I'm not bothering blocking. Just having these creatures on board is too valuable with this Dauntless Onslaught sitting in our hand. Pillar of War not going to do a ton yet, but it can down the line. It's a scary card. It's going to make him come up with some pretty impressive stuff because the Spear is a big issue. He's going to pass. I think I just battle with both and go for Dauntless Onslaught here. All right. I'll try it. Worst case, we lose Gray Merchant. I think that's fine. He's going to Grip Tide our Sentry. All right. So we still get to kill his Fortune Hunter here. He gets a card out of it. But I like just playing the Pillar of War here. We're not under any real big threat, and I want to be able to have the Pillar of War down to block, and or, you know, we know what we're drawing next turn, but as things move forward, we might be able to to find something to actually make it attack as well. The real issue for him, though, is that we're sitting at 19 life, and we've got an active Spear of Heliod that he's going to need to deal with at some point. And that's just going to be real rough going for him, I think. Okay, so he's going to play 2 creatures out, which means he also didn't give us any reason to fear anything here as far as counterspells. The only one he can have is Stymied Hopes, and that doesn't do anything here. So we get to get our big flyer back online, which is nice. All right, we'll take 1. And I think we can attack here, right? Yeah, these are all fine. Doesn't have any good blocks. Bouncing a Grey Merchant doesn't seem good. He basically traded 1 damage with us at 19 for up to 3 damage with him at 10. Okay, so he must have something that targets that. It can make it into a 4/4. Maybe even a 5/5, like if he has Battle-Wise. He's got... What? He just wants to scry that bad? Resolves. That is weird. That's a weird line. I don't know why he did that. What am I missing? Does he have that thing that destroys like everything, like Fated Retribution? And he's just trying to like leave himself with something? Because I can just leave this regeneration up on this sort of indefinitely. Horizon Scholar. All right, well, that's certainly annoying. That'll kind of put a stop to the shenanigans here. What the heck? That's weird. Snarecaster. Snarecaster is nice here. That actually gets us in for some damage. Wow, this guy's brave. Just paid 3. He traded 3 life for his Horizon Scholar there. Maybe he thought that's the best it was ever going to do for him. I'm just surprised he went for that. All right, so shield's up. This obviously benefits us. We know one of his cards, and there it is. So he has 1 unknown card left. No attacks here. I guess he could... Yeah, now he actually should have attacked. So they kind of messed that one up a little bit. Do we need to play this swamp? Not really. I think we can just say go here. So, yeah, we really don't have much to worry about here unless he can take out this spear. I mean, even something like Athreos form on this thing wouldn't do it for him. Whoa! That helps, though. Now maybe he can just one-shot us. That's definitely his plan. All right, that's a good draw. We can see what else he's got here. And also it's just another blocker, which we apparently need here. What do you got? A Benthic Giant. All right, get that out of here. That's a nice thing to take away. And then we're going to be able to play this land now so we can have regeneration and spear. Actually, because I tapped incorrectly, we can't do both now. It probably won't matter, but that's annoying. So right now he can hit us for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14-ish. Yeah, that's not good for us. Fate Foretold. That thing gets bigger. Yeah, that sucks. Master Waves is brutal. That is one of the ways that he can actually get through this spear. Is just by putting out enough to just overwhelm us. Of course, if we gain any life, we get it back. All right, so he's not quite ready. And we are kind of forced to play this. I need to make sure that we keep enough blockers up basically at all times. Is there anything that we actually want to tap here? Is there anything that matters? I mean, he's got 2 Coastline Chimeras. We're not getting through those anyway. So, yeah, sure. And say go. Yeah, I'm just happy we drew a creature. I mean, it happened to be basically our worst non-land draw. One of our worst non-land draws possible, but I'm actually pretty stoked on it just because it's a dude and we need those because I don't want to get one-shotted here. I don't think we're in one-shot range, but we're close. That's not bad. That's actually kind of interesting. That gets Pillar of War active, which isn't really impressive, but it does. I think we actually take... Here, let's see what happens here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So he can actually get us to 1. But then he loses his entire board if he does that. Actually, and it's not 1 because we don't block this, this, this. So actually, no. He doesn't get us to 1. He gets us to like 4. So I think we're actually okay with applying pressure here. Because this thing kills him in 2 turns. So if he takes this here, then now he must start chump blocking next turn. It's a little bit risky, but I like it better than just doing nothing here. All right, so that's good news. Okay, so that worked out well for us. Because, I mean, we're like potentially like a strong combat trick like one of these away from dying as well. Sun Guide, that's not going to do it. All right, so now hopefully we just draw another creature. That's really what we want. Just an insurance creature, basically. I mean, I could get greedy, but I think that just like a non-land, like just a creature would be the best. That works. Yeah, I think we just cast it too. I don't think there's really no, what's the benefit to doing it? I mean, we can attack with Pillar, but he just chumps with anything. And then we tap that thing, and yeah, that's just bad for us. So let's just attack here, and I'm just going to play the Nyxborn Shieldmate for my hand. I mean, it's a friggin' 2/3. Now he's dead in 2 turns thanks to this thing. And we seem to have mitigated the threat of this, at least a bit. He's going to attack with... Okay, so he wants to draw a card here. So I think the play is just to block with Disciple here. And this prevents him from drawing a card, but it also means that we take no damage. And I think that's the best line. I don't want him to draw that card. I think that's really bad for us. Scourgemark. Does that change anything? So if I Scourgemark Pillar of War and attack with it and the Sentry, then that means that he must block the pillar. So instead of blocking on our turn, it acts as like an offensive blocker, basically. So I think that's the right play. So let's start with that. And then we get to draw a card too, so this can maybe change our mind about what line we want to take here. Glimpse, I think, is an end step play here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can glimpse for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can tap all the sea ponies and make him block with real creatures or something, but does that really get what we want done? I mean, are we a bounce spell away from making that a huge mistake? It feels probably like a hasty move, so let's just do this. This is lethal. And then I think what I'm going to do on his turn is glimpse down a bunch of his board just to keep him from doing, you know, like an alpha attack that actually kills us. So Sea Pony down. That's one that we would have just blocked anyway. Or maybe he's just going to stack a bunch up and kill our guy. Oh, that seems, or not a bunch, but 2 of them. That's fine by me, actually. I actually didn't think about that, but that actually is pretty good for us. That actually means that at 15, we don't need to now glimpse for anything because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're only taking 2, 4, 6, 8. It's really hard for him to get more than 8 in. in a turn. So I think we just leave Glimpse up for a flyer so we can just kill him. Ooh, Thassa's Bounty. That's a good draw here. But it does only leave him with 4 mana. But that could be really good for him here, actually. All right, it wasn't good enough, though. So Spear of Heliod was awesome, like it is. Yeah, well, so I was looking for any ways to interact with with Master of Waves, and we don't have them. Bile Blights are kind of our removal spell, and otherwise, you know, I mean, look, our game plan is pretty good against that, but that's very annoying. Griffin Dreamfinder is something that we can consider here. You know, if he does find a way to counter or get rid of our spear, we can get it back. We can also just get back random value things, Scourgemarks and such. So I think we should probably play that because this does look like it might get a little grindy. I like being able to pressure him, but the problem that I see is that he's got at least 2 of the 1/5s, and those are pretty tough for us to really just like power through or whatever. So let's not. No, this looks like a keep. I like a strong hero start to just start battling. Ideally, we would draw a swamp there and be able to play Tormented Hero into Hero of Iroas, but it's fine. He has Nullify. Let's just go for Philosopher here. Hero doesn't get that much better next turn. I mean, it is better, but it's not like a super beating better, so I think I'd prefer just to do it this way. And I am going to run out the hero now. I think the Scholar might actually be more important than the hero anyway. And it also resolves. I need a swamp to kind of go off. If we hit a swamp, we can kind of go off on hero here. We can Scourgemark and Nyxborn Shieldmate and just make a huge threat. Let's see if he's got the Coastline Chimera here to sort of put an end to the party. He does. All right, so draw a swamp and we're in business. If we don't, we still have plays. Ooh. Lovely. So the question is, do we want a Tormented Hero first or kind of just go off here? How big does this thing get? That's 3. That's big enough. So yeah, let's just go off here. Make this guy big, get our card draw while he doesn't have bounce. Lands are fine too to draw here. Dreamfinder's cool. And this actually makes it big enough to get in there. That's kind of an unreasonably big 2-drop there. All right, so he gets in for a big hit while our opponent doesn't really have any way to interact, so that's super nice. And then interestingly, if he bounces it or kills it, we can Griffin Dreamfind back Scourgemark and kind of grind here. Fate Foretold, okay. Definitely allow that. Make a 3rd island. Do you have a play? You do, but it's not a great one. He might actually chump block here, interestingly. And I believe I'm okay with that. Or maybe... No, I think what I want to do here is just... All right, so here's the play. Here is the play. 1 more mana would have been nice. But what we're going to do is we're going to play Tormented Hero here. And then I'm going to attack with both. And I'm going to play Glimpse the Sun God on... this and this. I wanted to do it on this too, but we're a mana short. So here and here. And that makes this 7, 8, 9, and that thing can't block. I like that. This gets him down to 3 and basically makes us have lethal on the table if he doesn't do anything significant next turn. And thanks to that, we also have Grey Merchant for the instant victory too. That was, in my mind, a little bit of a longer game plan because we weren't guaranteed a swamp. But now that we know we're getting a swamp, we can just cast it and kill him. So, like, I think worst case for us is he goes like, he goes Master of Waves, leaves up double blue, and then has Nullify for this. That's like the absolute worst case for us, and we still have Scholar to beat him anyway. So let's just try this, though, because this probably just wins on the spot. But if he does have Nullify, or Stymied Hopes, then we've got a nice backup plan. All right, he had Stymied Hopes. Unbelievable. I think that I still just attack here, though. I don't want to trade either of these off for Sea Ponies, but I'll trade off Hero for a slew of them. I'm okay with letting him draw here if he wants to do that, because it means that our Griffin Dreamfinder can actually attack in a little while. I don't like giving him 2 cards, obviously, but... All right, so we ran into our absolute worst case scenario, and I still think we're in a pretty good position. All right, so he still doesn't have more blue mana this turn. That's nice. He has really no attacks here. I mean, he can try to attack for 8 with the Sea Ponies, but... No blocks. This indicates maybe a Sudden Storm. But Sudden Storm by itself still isn't good enough, because we're going to get in there for 2. If I draw a land, I can Scholar and kill him. He's got to be careful here. I don't like taking 8 there. It makes me really nervous, but like, what's his play here? Prescient Chimera. So I attack with everything, and he's got to lose his master here. Unless he has Retraction Helix. Right? No. Yeah, he does. So let's just attack. I mean, I don't really see what his line is here. Because he's going to, I mean, I want to make him lose Master Waves. That's the only thing I really care about here. If he loses that, I mean, I don't care about this. And I'll throw away either of these 2 things. I mean, the block seems to be Chump Block Hero with Master and then eat Tormented Hero with Prescient Chimera, but I feel like that leaves me in a favorable position. I mean, I'm 1 land away from just insta-winning. I think I just play Griffin Dreamfinder here. Let's see. Either one is lethal. Either one presents lethal in multiple ways. This one's easier to interact with. But if I draw a land, I can just do this and kill him. I think I'm just going to actually just play the Scholar here. I mean, he's not going to take me from 12 to 0 this turn. So if I get to untap, I kill him. Like, it's that simple. He must touch this thing, and there's a lot less that he can use to interact. I mean, and actually that is actually quite the clear play, because Griffin Dreamfinder and Scholar are equally lethal. I mean, this one has flyer, but it has flying, but whatever. Like, I can just attack with all 3 here, and then activate or whatever. Like, I've got multiple angles covered here. There's 6 mana. Is this Horizon Scholar? That's his bounty. That's not going to do it. Well, I guess he gets to scry, so he gets his choice here, but he put it on the bottom. Yeah, I think he's just dead here. I don't think there's any 2-mana spell in the game that can get out of this. He can bounce one thing, but then he's dead to my creatures. All right, so we made it into the finals with our black-white deck. Let's see if it can seal the deal here.